Hey guys, and welcome back to another tips and tricks video for Friday the 13th. Before we get started, I gotta give a shout out to khantharasy. I hope I didn't just butcher your name. But if I did, my apologies. He's the one that actually showed me the side shift technique, and if it weren't for him, I wouldn't be making this video right now. He's a Twitch streamer, and I left a link down in the description to his Twitch account, so if you want to see a skilled F13 player, go check him out. To me, this technique is a game changer. It's very powerful. What it allows you to do is have a lot more control over your shift. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video and I'll show you some examples. Okay, so how it works is you activate your shift like you normally would with R1 and square. Then you release both of them. Then you hold R1 and then with the left analog stick move side to side. Pretty cool, right? Well, if you incorporate your right analog stick with this as well, you can get this drifting sort of circle motion as well, demonstrated in this clip. When you incorporate these two different ways of using your shift, you can maneuver within tight spaces a lot easier as demonstrated in this clip. What I suggest is going into offline mode and practicing and setting small goals. Try to get through the doorway, and if you do that successfully, try to go down the hallway, and then keep building upon it until you get better at it. Don't get discouraged if your first couple attempts aren't successful. This does take a little bit of practice. I'm sure you can see the potential for this type of technique. One day I want to beat somebody upstairs and then hide in a room and turn on my stock and give somebody a nice jump scare, but I haven't been able to pull it off yet. When you use the side shift in offline mode like you see here, it's nice and smooth, but for some reason when you use it online there's this camera twitch that happens. It's kind of annoying, but you get used to it, and I'll demonstrate it and show you what it looks like later on in this video.
There we go!
This is another offline bots clip. I just wanted to show you how much control you have over your shift. I'm literally doing circles around the counter. It's a lot of fun to play offline when you're using the side shift. Okay, this is a real game online. This is the camera twitch I was talking about. It's kind of annoying, doesn't happen all the time, and certain Jasons don't have as bad of a camera twitch, but it's nothing you can't get used to. In the very next clip you'll see me do the exact same maneuver, and in the top right you can see the controls I use to do it. Turn on your shift, activate the side shift, release R1 and use the left analog stick and push it forward so you're aligned and head on with the counter so you can get the grab. If you do not do this, you will miss your grab. The part I talked about when releasing the R1 button and pushing the left analog stick forward is really important because you're moving on a curve and you're now not aligned with the counter anymore, so you need to correct it by pushing the left analog stick forward so you can get the grab. I feel like this got technical pretty quickly, and hopefully you guys are still following along, but if there's something you don't understand, leave me a comment down below and I'll try to explain. So I use my side shift to try to get in front of him, but I see he's changed his angle where he's running, so I just adjust and I get right in front of him and I get the grab.
Get up, Jason. Find them. Kill them.
This is just another example of the side shift. It's a lot of fun, especially when you have a whole new way of playing the game for a game that's not going to have any new content. So hopefully you guys learned a new technique today and something new about the game.
Ah! He's killing me! There we go!
Normally trying to make it through the doorway would be pretty hard from this angle, but with the side shift it's made easy. I always turn on sense so I can see the doorway better so I can get through. Here's another example of the side shift. Now if I were using the regular shift to try and make it upstairs, it would be pretty hard. I'm not saying it would be impossible, but with the side shift it makes it a lot more manageable and practical to use in a real game. Just another example of the side shift. A lot of counselors don't expect you to be this quick and be able to maneuver inside the cabin this quickly, and they're caught off guard a lot of the time. With the side shift technique, you're able to maneuver within cabins pretty easy and not get caught up and stuck on stuff like you normally would with the normal shift.
They want to take you from me, Jason. Don't let them.
I find myself having a lot more fun with the game because it's a fun new challenge and something fresh to the game, which has been lacking lately because we're not getting any new content. The next two clips are just more examples of the side shift being used. I'm gonna let them play through and then pick up my commentary later.
They want to hurt you, Jason. Don't let them.
Another thing I like to do with this newfound control over your shift is set people up for jump scares. It's a lot of fun. I would normally use my stock ability here, but I don't even have it available to me yet. This person must have thought I was right around the corner and thought, that music's getting pretty loud, I better get inside the cabin where it's safe, not expecting me to be inside the cabin setting them up for a jump scare.
You cannot.
Here's another example of me setting somebody up for a jump scare. I could have easily have gone for a normal shift grab, but I wanted to set this person up for a jump scare, and I had my stock available, so I used it this time.
Oh my god!
I had this idea where I thought it would be cool if you shifted ahead of another player and then hid behind a tree and turned on stock and then came out of nowhere and grabbed them. How cool that would be. Didn't really turn out the way I imagined, but I'm going to try and get this one in the future and try and make it better. The side shift can also be used like the wedge shift in a way. You just activate your shift and then you activate your side shift and press down and to the right with your left analog stick and hold it up against the fence or whatever it may be. So I activate my shift and then I activate the side shift and I press my left analog stick down and to the right, and then when I move to the left I press it down and to the left. This allows you to stay in place and hold your shift. You can also hold your side shift up against the fence and turn the angle of the camera with your right analog stick, but then you have to make the adjustments with the left analog stick. So here it is being used in a real game. You turn on your shift, you turn on your side shift, and then you hold your shift in place, and then when the time's right, you release it, and then you can get the grab. I'm sure you can see the potential here and the benefit of using it when you're playing as Jason. Here's another example where I show you the side shift where it's wedged up against the fence where I move the camera angle in a real game. This technique would be good to be used against players that are good at juking and moving erratically that make it hard to get the shift grab on. While they're moving erratically, you can hold your shift in place and just watch and then pick the right time to release it and then grab them. So I activate my shift, and then I activate the side shift, and then turn, and then wedge my shift right into the fence and hold it in place, and then grab Tommy. I didn't really need to do this because Tommy was already out of stamina, but I just wanted to show you another way of using this technique. Here's another example with the side shift wedged up against the fence with a quick grab. When you're using this technique, you're hoping that the counter runs in your general direction so you can be successful with the grab like this. But this won't always happen. In the next clip I'll show you what to do when that happens.
Oh god! No!
So I activate my side shift and I wedge it up against the fence, hoping somebody would come in my general direction so I could get an easy grab, but it didn't work out, so I just release it and go for a normal shift grab. This guy was good at juking, so what I did was use my side shift and wedged it up against the side of the cabin so I could hold it in place and watch his movements. When I felt ready, I release the wedge shift and I go for a normal shift grab. This technique is really beneficial against players that are good at juking and being erratic, because you can hold your shift in place and just watch them move all crazy like, and then when you feel ready you can release your shift. Here's just one more clip where I use the side shift and wedge it up against this platform, hoping somebody would come near me, but nobody did, so I just release it and go for a normal shift grab. This is a weird one. I activate the kill, but he still gets the stun. I guess it was so close in timing that it gave me the kill and it gave him the stun. As always, thanks for checking out my videos, and if you like my content and you're new to my channel, subscribe to stay up to date with new content. I feel like this was my hardest commentary to do so far. I hope I was clear on certain things. If you found that you didn't understand something, leave a comment down below and I'll try to explain.